Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to The Hunter and the Beast, where honestly, we're getting pretty close. Look at this blue bar here. We are at 77 points of acclaim right now. I have not been paying close enough attention, I probably should be watching a little bit more, to exactly how much we gain when we take over a settlement, but we're certainly not going to have to like defeat Clan Pestilence or anything. We're just going to have to gain a little bit more territory. So, in the interest of gaining a little bit more territory, and maybe even retaking our initial stomping grounds, yeah, we gotta try to fight this rat stack here. Let's see what we can do. So you move out to here. I think we want to engage... Actually, do we want to engage with him? Have Marcus be the reinforcements?
Sir.
No, I guess we'll have Marcus be the one who goes in first. They both... the only reason I was thinking it is that his infantry are a little bit better.
Very well.
But they both have infantry that are just going to have to awkwardly maneuver into position.
Move, comrades.
Okay, the rats are afraid of us. I count it as a good sign.
Move out.
So
On the hunt.
back into reinforcement position. They're only allowed to flee like that once per turn. I'm surprised they ran, frankly. Given that they have a pretty significant auto-resolve bonus here, and the computer does all of its combat math based on the auto-resolve result. Alright. We have to be able to beat this army. If we can't beat this army, we're screwed anyway, so we just have to do it. Their infantry are vastly superior to my own. They have a lot of powerful ranged troops, but they don't have any artillery. We have the overall range advantage, and we have a party of ridiculously powerful heroes, while they have just a warlord. I'm trying to build myself up here. I'm trying to make myself feel like this is a thing we can do, because I still only kind of think this was a good idea. I mean, we're going to suffer some losses here, some big losses. Let's not mince words. So the reinforcements are coming in all the way over there, which sucks terribly. That's really, really bad for us. If they were coming in over here, we could just take this hillside. We'd hold on the hillside, and that would be really cool. As it stands, I'm thinking about just playing all the way back here. Terrain's flat-ish. Sort of flat, kind of. So the gunners will be relatively effective. The thing we have to worry about, one of the things we have to worry about, is that we are fighting them on their territory, a place that they've had a lot of time to build up Skaven corruption, which means that there is going to, we're going to see a lot of charges of that free Skaven from underground ability, that thing that they're always doing. Like, if we set this up like this, what is the... Okay, the range on the Hellstorm battery is such that it does fire immediately. That might be good. Let's get this off the screen here. Gamble and then start deployment. So if we set up arrows right here. Okay, we're not really losing any shooting time to the trees because they'll be out of the trees by the time we're firing. They don't have any cavalry. We don't really have to worry about like getting our halberdiers in the right place. We do have to make sure that the melee troops are on top of and protecting the ranged, and I'm gonna keep our better melee heroes just sort of mixed in with the ranged, because rats are going to be coming up from underneath us constantly, 100% of the time. And then that leaves in the middle wizard and steam tank. Okay. I don't know what I want to do with the steam tank. Alright. They will come to us. We attacked. Technically, it is on us. It's on us to come to them, really. If the battle timer runs out, they win. But because my artillery will fire a little bit, at least it should. We should see that. There we go. If we get even a single artillery hit on them, they will feel that it is necessary to push. Wow, that was actually very impressive. Because those are storm vermin. Those are heavily armored, very tough units. Okay, so we have a bunch more huntsmen coming in. God, it's a lot to manage. Sorry, there's just gonna be some pausing. Sometimes I get comments from people, and I don't actually even know if it has happened this series because I have not been reading a lot of the comments. I'm just real busy. Sometimes I get comments from people who are like, oh, come on, don't pause. Pausing's for people who are bad. You're good enough at the game, you don't need to pause. It's such a crutch. No. No, you're wrong. Okay, we got our first unit of reinforcement rats. Not a good place to come in. They weren't really considering what they were doing on that one. Okay, so hold on. Let's have a look at the Hellblaster War Wagon. It almost doesn't seem like the wagon is providing a lot of benefit here. But does this thing have range that is comparable to a normal Hellblaster? No, not at all. It is a much shorter range version of that thing. So actually, we can have these guys just set up pretty much where they are. We can take optimal advantage of that. The Luminarch needs to be in a place where it has a clean, open shot. It is a direct fire weapon. And then we also have just a steam tank. Yeah, okay. I should be hitting accuracy. Accuracy is important for siege engines. We're going to lose a lot of projectiles here. How are my mortars for targeting? Actually, should be able to get them. And in fact, I'm going to have the Hellstorm batteries focus on these guys too. We're about to see the first of the actual enemies come through the forest. I don't know what you guys are doing. Alright, let's make nice short work of all of those long rifles. These units are really cool. I'm actually thinking we might play well, these are flamethrower guys. Where's the Jezzails? There were Jezzails over here, weren't there? Yeah, check that out. These are really cool units. We might play another Skaven campaign sometime soon, because when we played Skaven, it was right after release, and they didn't even have all of their mechanics in yet, like the Undercity thing didn't exist. I'm eager to use all of this cool mad scientist stuff. A lot of the stuff that I like most about who the Skaven are mechanically was not in the game when we played them. They're doing like warpstone magic on us. What is this? I don't even know what that spell is. I'm sure it's bad. I'm sure we should try not to stand in it. So let's see. That's the Hellblaster guys, and the Hellblaster guys are doing what they need to do. Can I please be allowed to click on my units? When the camera gets up on stuff like a cliff, sometimes you get some weird results. I'm hoping we can get some good combat footage of the Luminarch here. Oh, this is the other lord. He should definitely get up there. And then we have wizards to work with. So where is Life Wizard? Oh, also, I should be mashing this button on cooldown. This would be a good time to set up our Dwellers Below. Nice overcast Dwellers Below. I don't know, right thereabouts, maybe? Just trying to, like, the thing that's most important actually is to get these Death Globe dudes with it. And then we may also throw out a Purple Sun of Xerius. Oh, I guess it's very expensive. Okay, the Luminarch's not facing the right direction. There we go, this is what we need. Alright, so once their Globadiers are committed, we do have these units of cavalry, and I'm going to try to set them up now. I want to be a little bit careful because Sword and Shield Stormvermin are tough enough that they can just withstand a good cavalry charge. And also, I want to make sure that we are not getting anywhere near the units of Stormvermin that have spears. Because the Halberd Stormvermin are incredibly good at killing cavalry. Like maybe some of the best cavalry killers in the entire game, to be perfectly honest with you. The Deathglobe Bombardiers are, unfortunately, they are a little bit armored, a little bit more armored than a lot of ranged units are. So arrows are not the ideal tool for dealing with them, but we gotta get them before they start up the globes. And it looks like the Luminarch is preparing to do a thing. I forgot the Templehof Luminarch has the Net of Amentok. What a very silly thing. We we have another. I gotta remember all of my nets and stuff. We have traps, and we're gonna throw this down over here somewhere. I don't want to catch these guys with it because those guys are already pretty torn up. I guess we'll lay it right there. It's not really a trap though. Yeah, we'll wait for people to get closer because he doesn't have the range he needs for it. Her net is a little bit longer, right? Maybe not. Maybe not at all. Well, her Arrow of Kurnus is pretty long. Let's just have at those dudes. Okay, let's watch the Templehof Luminarch do its thing, and then we'll consider the net after it fires. So this is what this thing's for. It shoots crazy light magic at people. Ooh, see this? See this right here? Storm vermin with halberds coming forth to meet our cavalry. That's exactly what I was concerned about. So let's have them take a bit of a wider path. I don't really want to even charge the sword and shield guys. I just want to get in here. All right. So as the nets go off, we're gonna start actually meeting the enemy here. And I apologize for all the. I don't apologize for the pausing from a tactical standpoint. I do apologize for the like breaking up battle momentum standpoint, but there's just a lot of stuff happening, and this battle is really important. Do we want a black sun? Or a purple sun, rather. Kind of want a purple sun. I want a purple sun right on top of these ranged units. Let's put it right here, so that when we put this down, it's going to wander in a random direction, so I'm just going to put it dead center, and we'll hope that it sticks to a place that is sensible. This steam tank should shoot at those guys. I mean, I'll leave the ranged to do the ranged thing. That looks under control. It looks like a lot of the stuff is doing what it needs to be doing. We got to throw some oil on. No, those are clan rats. I don't care about them. Those guys are netted already. Never mind. Shoot your arrow. Shoot your big fire arrow. All right, we haven't actually looked at our Pegasus yet either. Check it out. He has a Pegasus. All right. Summon the purple sun, and hopefully it will wander in a direction that is productive. As you can see, it does a lot of damage, and it's very upsetting. These guys got caught by clan rats before they got to where they needed to get to. Oh, God. Okay, never mind. Weapons team under control. Oh, that weapons team's not under control. Could somebody maybe control them? Could we get a little control over here? We don't really have any magic left. Can we do one of these? That'll help. There's their lord. We're getting good advantage from our ranged units. Apparently we charged these dudes, even though I didn't mean to. Actually, I'm gonna try to pull the horses back. We're gonna cycle this. Hit them from a new side while withdrawing those guys. Let me see that Hellblaster volley gun in action here. Okay, it's hard to see. It doesn't fire as large and obvious as of a group of projectiles as the other thing does. Come on, get him. Aw, I don't think that hit anybody. Alright, roll the Luminarch back. Don't let their lord attack it. Alright, good work on this front, everybody. Control A, right-click their lord. Just kind of curious if we can bring him down. No, wait, not you. Sorry. So, don't you do that. Okay. Good enough for me. That auto-resolve bar, the balance of power bar there, did not accurately represent the difference in ranged strength between our armies. Honestly, if they had been able to get into melee, if they had like attacked us and gotten an ambush formation and gotten their storm vermin up on top of us, that could have gone very, very differently. Their units were better. Pound for pound, their units are a lot better than ours are, which is weird for a Skaven force. Again, I'm used to release Skaven, where everything they had was terrible, and you won every fight through massive, overwhelming numbers. I mean, their wizards have always been good. But with all these new weapons teams, they've gotten a real shot in the arm. So we're seeing a good distribution of kills here. A lot of the melee not actually getting to participate in the battle, which is good in the sense that it keeps my melee fresh, and bad in the sense that we're never going to get them to gold chevrons. That I'm really just very excited about.
Bring out the nooses.
Okay, and with nowhere to flee, they are destroyed, and let's go get this settlement. I mean, next turn, obviously. We won't be able to get it right now. I'm going to march mode back toward the city. Oh, hey, you know what? Speaking of wizards, why don't we... I'm gonna buff up the purple. I really, really love Purple Sun and the other spells like it. A lot of schools have a spell that is kind of similar. Did we ever finish building that mage college? Yes, we did. Okay, and we have 1 battle wizard capacity because of that thing that we researched. So let's get ourselves a bright wizard. Fleet-footed, good at running, or weapon strength up. Okay, I think we'll be taking the one who's not focused on sword usage. How long have we had this quest? Alright, again, because of the thing we researched, we get to start with some spells here. I do love the big burning head, and also let's grab Kindle Flame. And then we're gonna run this wizard south and pull Newsbacker out of this army and send him north to join up with the Archlector. And then we have 2,000 gold left. What do we want to do with it? What do I need to do with it? I guess I don't really have a ton of pressing need, do I? No, pretty much everywhere that we can build something, we are building. Chotek's Causeway. What do we want here? It probably doesn't need walls because it's like very securely nestled in the center of our empire. So this could be... we're probably not actually going to run through here very often. We're going to end up sailing around a lot if we want to go from north to south or vice versa. We don't need a public order boost. We don't really need anything. I mean, I guess the road gives growth, but maybe the correct play here is just don't spend the money. 50 more income and a little bit more tradable spice. What about up here in this area? Okay, Sildrator has an empty slot that probably should be actually filled with something. Although I don't know what it is. We should probably try to get some purple recruitment type buildings going here. I guess the Empire's not really reliant on that stuff so much, though. Maybe what we should do is try to get a gunsmith going. Because we're going to need to be able to recruit units up here. If this is going to become the front in a war against 1,000 Dark Elves, yeah, we're going to need actual recruitment. So I guess we're saving up a little bit. And I guess that's the end of the turn. Oh hey, happy turn 100, everybody. I had hardly even noticed. It's turn 100 and we're almost back in control of our original capital. Sort of, kind of close to it. I should have clicked on that Dark Elf army to see if we could see what their composition was. Well, I suspect we're going to find out pretty soon. So Clan Moors is a major Skaven faction over in the southeast corner of the world. Them going down doesn't do a lot for us, you know, our current actual situation, but what it does do is tell me that the Skaven are not super wildly overpowered. You know, they didn't manage to dominate in every region they started in. It's just that Clan Pestilens got a good foothold. And there was a ton of infighting in Lustria. One thing I will say about Lustria, I don't much care for it. Sure. I don't much care for the fighting in Lustria because it's hard to move around and you end up just like spending a lot of time running back and forth very slowly in the jungle. But it does have a tendency to come out different from game to game, which is not a thing you get in a lot of parts of the map. Gotrek and Felix. Okay, I know a little bit about these guys. These are like these guys have some books that people really like, I think. Deep below Carrick Eight Peaks, Gotrek and I found ourselves face to face with the most grotesque troll I'd ever seen. Time to die, filth, Gotrek exclaimed, wildly lashing out at the monstrosity with his axe. Okay, so Gotrek is the dwarf. Alas, the chaos-mutated creature kept regenerating its wounds, no matter how fatal they seemed to be. Fearing Gotrek undoubtedly would eventually tire, which would undoubtedly spell the end for the both of us, I had to act. Grabbing a nearby oil flask, I shimmied round to the troll's blind side and doused it with flammable liquid before setting the foul creature alight. Now inflamed, its wounds no longer convalesced, and the tide of the fight immediately turned in Gotrek's favor. With a pained cry, the flaming troll torch reeled backwards in a blaze of searing mutant flesh, forced back by the terrible gashes now being inflicted by the Slayer's axe. Finally it fell, and Gotrek raised his axe high above his head. "In the name of my ancestors," he howled, "die!" He brought his axe down like a thunderbolt, severing the creature's foul head with one swipe. Unsurprisingly, the troll did not rise again. Okay, that was just a short story. It doesn't have anything to do... zoom to location. What am I supposed to be getting from this? Oh, they're on the map now. Who the hell are you guys? I guess... Can I enter the map marker to recruit them to your faction? Oh! Hell yes. Hell yes, I will do that. As soon as our Archlector feels he can safely leave the ziggurat. We did get the walls finished, so that's good. Hold on, we'll figure this thing out in a minute. Our play down south is considerably simpler. Let's just get this done.
Reposition.
Alright, so we were at 77 acclaim.
I am the Hunt's Marshal.
We are now at... Okay, lots of notifications, as always. We're now at 81, so each settlement is 4 points. We're really not that far from winning. I don't mean to talk as though it is a foregone conclusion. But we're getting there.
Yes.
We're about to have the timber finished. Do we want to upgrade the Temple of Kara? I kind of think we want to save the population and upgrade Tarantula again as soon as it finishes the upgrade here.
Sir.
That's probably the more important move. So let's have... Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have Nussbacher leave this army. He's going to scout ahead, check out Plushthon, and then hit the beach and sail northward. This wizard up here is just going to run south as fast as he can, and actually we should check out his followers. Definitely equip a coachman. There's not going to be any movement speed, right? Nope, but we can equip a student. That's a pretty cool one. Campaign line of sight, that seems good. Sure, public order +2 in your province, why not? And some magic reserve up. And heroes, army, ambush chance. All of it seems pretty good. Then I can't imagine we have a lot of gear that is well suited to his role. Like, he's going to be so far outside of combat, it doesn't make sense to equip stuff. I guess we could give him magic resist, that doesn't hurt. We don't have any arcane items. Okay.
Marcus Wolfhart.
We have an awful lot of upgrades to buy yet.
Loyal or not, they'd better fight.
What am I doing with you? Completed almost every skill that matters. I guess missile resistance at this point?
Time will tell on this one.
Oh, I think I was taking personal movement speed on him or something. Oh, no, that's right. Movement speed for the entire army was still an option.
Traitors always get found out.
And you can almost pick up immortality. So when non-legendary characters reach rank 20, they can get the ability to become unkillable. Obviously, that's pretty valuable. Do I want more power in the reserve? He can burn through power pretty quickly at this point, actually. Some additional reserves are a good idea. Okay, now we've actually leveled everybody up. So now we have to decide what we want to do here. I think I want to have him just chill in this settlement for a minute, because we don't have any idea where the Skaven are. There could be a Skaven army on the way over here right now, right this second. So let's just play a little bit defensively for a moment here. We probably don't need to upgrade anything in this area. It's not a critical use of gold. How close is Spectazuma's gold mine? Oh, we're gonna have to upgrade the main settlement before we can even fix that. Alright, so then it's just spending gold in Sildrator then. Let us get, like I said, never mind. Not quite accessible yet. I don't think we are bothering with stables. Like, in theory, Demigryph Knights could be cool, and having an anti-large shock cavalry unit against the Dark Elves, who I know have some cavalry, might be a good idea. But let's focus on our strengths, which is to say, steel, faith, and gunpowder. Not upgrading the temple. Don't need to upgrade anything over here. I mean, I guess we could do that. That pays itself off pretty quickly. And we probably shouldn't, though. We should probably not spend gold on anything until we start getting the siege building up in Sildrator. So, alright, here's hoping that this is a major settlement, so it will be walled, but let's hope that they don't have a functional garrison or an army waiting for us over there or anything. Skaven are a little bit scary.
If we are not enemies, there's no reason we can't.
She still wants a military alliance, which I think is weird. She is at war with the Dark Elves, so hopefully they'll be a little bit too distracted to focus on us very much. I know they've already sent a couple of stacks, but may that be the end of it for now. Do we have a defensive alliance with all the elves? I should double check, because I would love to be able to offer targeting suggestions to them. Well, I do believe our man's got to get over there and help with that. Okay, Spectazuma, or Arkling snuck into Spectazuma and tried to murder the garrison. And hey, look at that, all those Skaven armies. That's just kind of the way that it goes, fighting the Skaven. They have access to those underground movement modes, which makes it a little bit awkward to control positioning around them. That said, if I think they're going to be slow about it, it might be okay for us to just ignore them. Like, let them take my territory as long as I'm taking their territory faster. And all we have to do is get to 100 acclaim, right? We don't have to build a position that can last. Okay, engineer, that's a fine thing. To Yorick's delight, you managed to fill a large crate with the materials he suggested, dropping it before him. He scurried away, dragging the crate behind him while rambling about the brilliance of his plans and how much he will accomplish. A few days later, he emerges from his makeshift workshop, sweaty and beaming, proudly holding his latest invention. Those two cool weapons. Honestly, this weapon is fantastic. That's a really good sword. That would definitely be the weapon our paladin uses if he didn't have a rune blade. Alright, so what's next? Obtain access to medicinal plants, marble, and exotic animals. We have all those things. And we will receive... that's fine. But yeah, we have all these things, so I assume that'll just fire at the beginning of the next turn. We are hemorrhaging money right now because our capital is under siege. Let's go fix it.
True servant of Sigma. Faith shields us.
Okay, for some reason we're not able to attack them. We'll have to engage the attack with the city garrison and then have these guys come in as reinforcements. Given that we have a lot of stuff to do still with the Skaven, I'm gonna auto-resolve this. I know I was talking about, like, they're just elves with swords. They don't really have any of their cool units in here anyway. Okay, oh, apparently winning a battle was enough to trigger the next step of the thing. The Master Engineer Yorick Grimm is a prolific inventor indeed. The materials you gathered will enable him to continue supplying you with custom-built equipment, which will go a long way to helping the expedition, especially in between the infrequent reinforcements you receive from home. I mean, they're frequent enough. Okay, we killed all of those guys. Can you... Yes, you can get into the city at least. So you can see here, the darkness and the lava creeping through the ground and everything, that's the chaos corruption in the area being way too damn high. There's not a ton we can do about it. Okay, I'm happy to see the skeletons are still holding on. I haven't retaken Titan Peak, though. Yeah, I don't know. They may or may not be able to act as a screen against some of the Dark Elf nonsense. We cannot do the thing yet. Right, what is the next step of Yorick's quest? Gain access to carved obsidian. That we do not have. That'll get us his magnificent engineer trait, which is, wow, really good, actually. Regardless of what Big Boom does, and I mean, I'm pretty pleased with it based on the name. That's cool. And then that'll get us the gyrocopter as well. I'm very excited to have a gyrocopter on staff. That sounds fun. Please offset the chaos corruption. Pray to Sigmar or whatever. I think it's Sigmar. Yeah, they worship Sigmar, right? I'm never sure if, like, Sigmar is the guy they... For some reason, I always forget if Sigmar is the guy they worship or if he's more of, like, a Martin Luther figure, but I think he's like, their god. They are Sigmarite priests. But, I mean, we say Lutherans. You don't worship Martin... you know, whatever. It doesn't matter. These guys are close enough together that they're in each other's reinforcement range. The units we can see in these armies are on the weaker side, so maybe that's not as dangerous as it looks. I still think we want to do this. We need to know what the deal is with the garrison over here. It's a piece of information we must have. 13 units. Okay, so it is not particularly powerful. They do have a Hell Pit Abomination, but monsters like that are a lot less dangerous during sieges when they spend most of their time away from my ranged units. So we could try to jump these dudes. This army has some better Storm Vermini type units. Here's what I think. I think if we don't attack them now, they're going to hit Spectazuma and they're going to attack it the first turn they get there. They're not going to wait to build up because they have such an overwhelming number of units. It looks like, I was not expecting this, but it looks like we're going to be able to get into attack range without having to go into march mode. I was assuming we would have to march. So the fact that we don't have to makes it a lot more likely that we can actually win. I'm going to prioritize this upgrade. We do need to get the garrison building up, but one thing at a time. Yeah, I'm pretty torn on this. Like, is it better to fight them at Spectazuma, wear them down as much as possible, and then have my 2 units show up? Or do we want to just jump them in the jungle right this second? I'm short a wizard.
Huntsman General.
Grab some cannons, I guess. I don't have any money, so I couldn't recruit anything else. I don't really want more artillery.
Not enough warpstone.
I would definitely feel a little bit more comfortable making this decision if we could see the composition of this army. So much of this is going to come down to what their units actually are. I mean, Alchemist Spark's army looks bad. It looks like a weak one. He's riding a Doomflayer. That's, this thing. The ball with the whirling blades and whatnot. It's not a fun thing to get charged by, I imagine. Yeah, let's go for it. You know what we can do? We can move our Huntsman General up here, and that'll probably give us the information we need, right?
No, blame you.
So this army has 3 units of Warp Lightning Cannons. Dangerous, but they are direct fire. Now, Warp Lightning Cannons, unlike like normal cannons, Warp Lightning Cannons are built way up on a tower thing, so they are able to deal with uneven ground a lot more effectively than a lot of low-to-the-ground direct fire weaponry is. And then this army is actually garbage. I mean, it's a lot of bodies, you can see. If you add up all these numbers, that's a significant number of rats. But they're all kind of terrible. I think we can do this.
Captain of Scouts.
Also, I think we must do this. I think it's pretty crucial.
Think again.
Oh, they also think we can do this. That's interesting. Well,
General.
let's try again.
Move out.
Yep, they are cowards. I mean, you know, rats.
Marcus Wolfhart.
Listen, I love rats. I love rats way more than most people do. But if they are anything, they are cowardly. I'm sure they would prefer to think of it as either we're just very smart. We're survivors.
Huntsman General.
How many cats have I been eaten by? 0. 0 is the answer to this question.
Secure the perimeter.
Okay, I think what we're going to do here is march mode. March mode to here gets me inside of the reinforcement range. Yeah, so if they wanna fight us, they have to fight us all. Oh, except that they have that offense. I always forget about that offensive ambush thing. That could be real bad for us. Oh, that could be real bad for us. Again, it would be a gamble for them to go for it. Who knows if they would.
Sigmarite Arch-Lector.
Alright, well, let's see what happens. I may have goofed in a way that's going to require some effort to recover from, depending on whether or not they are able to pull off some offensive ambushing here. I'll tell you what, even if they do manage to knock out Marcus's stack, we'll do a lot of damage to them on the way out, and we won't really lose all that much. It's no longer the case that we have units that are incredibly difficult to replace. The worst part of that would be that it would probably mean the death of the wizard, who is so close to immortality. Oh, interesting. They're trying to flee. They try to flee. They have to do that one by one. So we have the opportunity here to intercept with Valmir Hellborg the good army full of storm vermin. I'm tempted to auto-resolve this because we win this as an auto-resolve. I'm not 100% certain we do win this as a straight fight. It'll be a fight in one of those underground rectangular battlefields. We don't really have the best units for fighting in that. Like, their artillery are actually better than my artillery in that situation. We have some cavalry that we could try to use to harass their artillery, but they're loaded down with some of the best large unit killers in the game. I think I'm going to let him go. If we auto-resolve this, we'll lose a ton of stuff. And we don't have a ton of stuff in the bank right now, in the unit bank, and we also don't have a lot of money in the money bank to replace the units. So I think I'm just going to let him go. Because I think we lose this if we... It's pretty good odds we lose this if I manual it. Now this one, on the other hand... I like that because that lets us divide their force up, and then we can still pursue this guy. I don't know, maybe that first refusal to fight was a little cowardly, but you cannot necessarily trust the balance of power bar, as you have seen many times. And catching someone in the underway or catching someone in an ambush is one of those times where the balance of power bar works in the player's favor. The auto-resolver works in the player's favor. I'm not confident I would have won that battle. Also, sometimes the balance of power bar and the auto-resolver are not the same thing. You can totally lose battles where you have more on the balance of power bar, or vice versa. Alright, we got our state troop standards up, which means we can start digging into the other infantry stuff. Plus 15 armor for all, plus 10% weapon strength. Kind of like 15 armor.
nation calls.
Alright, Falmir, you have capped out all of the blue stuff that we needed you to cap out, so I guess it's time to start looking at other stuff. We actually do have halberds and greatswords in his army now. We should take Circle of Protection.
What do you want with me?
It also should give him his Fire Wizard at long last.
Tracker of distinction.
So,
Captain of Scouts.
this needs to get walled.
Marcus Wolfhart.
And unfortunately, with the inclusion of that wizard, this army doesn't really have a lot of movement left.
The best.
I think what I'm going to do here is just run Marcus to this city, to here. I don't know that I want to engage that army if I don't have to. If they're going to run away, I think I'm inclined to let them.
Marcus Wolfhart. Very well.
Definitely don't want to be in march mode if we don't have to be. Can I get, like, close? Ooh, I can get close while maintaining ambush mode.
For the lines.
Let's do that.
On the trail.
Yeah, you'd have to cross me to attack the settlement.
That is set.
That may or may not work. But if we got our ambush off, that could make this battle a lot easier. And I'd much rather fight those guys in an open field type ambush than in underway interception. It's just like way safer for us. I think Adolphus Sulman is going to go treasure hunting. Now, a lot of naval points of interest cannot be collected while you are in full sail mode, but we can full sail out over to it, pick it up at the beginning of next turn, and then sail back in full sail mode. We probably won't go for this one because I don't want to get that far away from my settlement, but this is a good opportunity to pick up some money. Alright, I'm actually, we'll have him leave through the beach near the Temple of Tlinkon so that he can check that out as well. And then the other quest that we have left, we have to take some settlements that are not easy to get a hold of, right? The Awakening is actually somehow still in Vampire Pirate hands. Okay, that would be how. They're friends with the rats. And the other thing is to take this, which is definitely Rat Town. There's a pretty good chance we're not going to level up all of our heroes before we hit the end of the bar. And it's not actually true. I think I said all we have to do is get up there. We have to get to the end of the bar, and then there's a quest battle that we have to win. We'll see. We'll see how difficult that ends up looking. And we still have 3,100 gold left. Did I... Yes, okay, I did get that built. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the smart play with that is. I guess the Monument to the Moon getting upgraded gets us another port, which is a point and also actually a fair amount of money. But we have to prioritize Sildrator. That's right. That's right, that's what I was saving for. Gunsmith. Still can't make my gunsmith. Now, let's see what happens down here. I'm hoping they will just continue to flee. This is like a moment of local weakness for us with our two armies separated like this. As long as nothing disastrous happens right now at this moment, we should be okay. Which is what makes me nervous. Oh, our ambush is foiled. He knows I'm there. I'm still, like... We still outnumber him considerably. Oh, we're gonna get army action, though. Oh, they're just trying to boost their tech. Ah, they have more units. Of course they do. Right, we're fighting the Skaven, obviously. Well, the good news is we definitely can get Valmir up to Tlantla this turn. The bad news is everything else. I don't know, maybe this army that just approached will be a really weak army like the one we killed last turn. I mean, I think we have to hope. And isn't his ambush chance like a million percent? Uh-oh. One of the elves took up the Sword of Cain.
Wait for none.
No, that's probably good for us. That's probably going to manifest as pressure on the Dark Elves. Yes, I know. I know they're Skaven. Okay, they have not really built this up either. Good to know. And Andreas gets Arcane Conduit, so he's now a real wizard. That's the point at which the wizard is no longer a toy.
True servant of Sigma.
Okay, normal sailing.
Ever onward.
What have we? Sure. I'll face a half army of zombie pirates. Wow, this is actually a considerably larger and more difficult army, including 3 big monsters. But this big monster army would have a real hard time standing against the number of rifles we brought. Yeah, and none of those crabs would even get into melee, probably.
My journey begins.
A Seed of Rebirth and 20,000 gold. Okay, all of our problems are solved for a little while.
Champion of the faith.
20,000, jeez. I'm very pleased with that. We should probably grab the Grand Hammer of Sigmar. So it's just a buff that he can put out. It gives everybody around him a ton of melee attack, and it doesn't have a mana cost. The prayers are not magic. They're just a thing he can do. You know what we might do? We could sail back inward and pick the mysterious island up, and that'll keep us, near the things that might need defending. We could sail out for this too. I don't want to be that far away if Dark Elves show up. Okay, who has skill points? Van Hal has skill points. So he's got this thing. Is this time to go get Tools of Judgment? Or maybe Magic Resist? Magic Resist is probably more relevant against the Skaven. They don't really have that much large stuff. So what, we march mode, Valmir into the city. It looks like it... Oh, sorry, I don't have him selected. I have Van Hal selected. Okay, he does have to go march mode to make it into the city. Let's do that for sure.
Foes to track.
And then, let's look at these guys. Oh wow, this army is very low quality. Skaven slaves are even worse than clan rats. I mean, more numerous, but considerably worse. So we have the garrison of Tlanchla plus these 2 armies. Actually, I can't tell... Okay, yeah, we'll get reinforcements here. That's what I thought. They're going to run away, and then we're going to very easily kill these guys. Or... Oh yeah, they're in march mode. They will not be able to retreat. So let's just make sure that everybody gets to participate. We trivially kill the weak army. This is a case of auto-resolve dramatically overestimating the capabilities of their army, I think. We should have taken almost no damage.
I am the Hunt's Marshal.
And then now we've got these guys trapped against both of my armies. If we can actually move into attack range this turn, this is the turn that we do that. I know that we don't yet have any gold ranks on our melee troops, but we can hope that it will happen. I mean, really, we ought to get all of the red line, all of this final box stuff. Okay, you still have the range to... Oh no! Marcus has the range to engage, but we don't have the range to reinforce with Valmir. That is a real shame. Well, I don't think I want a one-on-one with not all of my units. So let's have you fall back into the city.
Ragtaggers.
You can end up here in ambush mode. I don't know, that's probably not going to do anything, but we can hope they do something really stupid. And now we have some money, so let's go ahead and do the stuff we needed to do with this. First of all, obviously, gunsmith. Secondly, really ought to upgrade this garrison. Third, we should put walls up at Sulphurettes. Unfortunately, that's going to mean losing 4 public order. Because I think I don't want to lose this. Yeah, it's the tap room. That's not ideal, but we don't have a lot of other options. We'll get the public order thing under control. We have a hero on the way who can have a bunch of public order stuff attached to him. What followers did we do for you? All right, hold on. We're gonna swap out his banners for guys who give public order. Ooh, and a guy who gives untainted. That's pretty good. Let's see, we don't have access to any of those guys who give 2 points, so we'll just take a jailer. Outrider's line of sight. I'm going to replace the Outrider as well, I think, because we are desperate for public order at the moment. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling, like, relatively solid here. I'm feeling solid-ish. If we were going to get attacked here, like, we should probably get the Floating Pyramid and the High Sentinel built up. Probably the Floating Pyramid first. If they get through Spectazuma, that's the one they'll go after. And then just making sure that we have recruitment structures and things in place. We could upgrade Hexawaddle. But here's what we upgrade. We use this windfall to just upgrade a lot of economic buildings where we can. Turn our short-term gain into some long-term security. And I'm not going to spend all the way down because we're going to need to build stuff next turn. Alright, I think that's pretty good. I would love to get over there and recruit Gotrek and Felix. I don't even know what their deal is, if they're like a weird lord with a bodyguard, kind of like Kemmler and Krell, or if they're a pair of heroes or what. But they're unique characters, and the game told us a short story about them, which suggests that they are important. Please. Okay, good. I was going to say, please don't show me any Dark Elf armies moving around. I gotta say, I feel like the Skaven would probably be doing better if they weren't so afraid to fight. Aha, you fool! He thought he could take Velmir and the garrison. Well, I'm gonna just devour him real fast. We could have fought that manual and it probably would have had about the same result. The advantage of ambush placement is considerable. So we've done a ton of damage to the Skaven in very short order here. I'm hoping that means they won't have any armies nearby to push on us with for a little bit. Maybe we can actually make some progress here. I would really like to get the rest of the settlements in Spectazuma's province, but I don't know if it's safe for us to move an army down there. Not in the sense that that army would be in danger, but in the sense that everybody else is going to be in danger. We are definitely not taking on any additional chaos corruption at this time. A stranger from the mist-shrouded land of Albion can go the hell back to the mist-shrouded land of Albion. Alright, we're doing okay here.
Every last beast.
Alright, so we got that. We're definitely going to go back and grab Hold the Line. Like, this is a thing we should take. We shouldn't cap him out without getting it. It's just not been super relevant for us because we're trying to fight our battles with as little melee combat as possible. Okay, we gotta equip that fancy sword on somebody. She has her own fancy sword. Actually, bow. She has her own fancy bow. We should probably leave her with that. Ward of Hoeth? I mean, maybe? There are some spells that do significant damage to characters. So Relentless is personal speed for you. We did cap this out. I mean, we can make him just produce more money from the region he's in. He's not going to be in a region that has a lot of build-up, though. He's going to be on the frontier pretty much all the time. Okay, what else do we need here? Sigmar's Ward will give him... Oh, you know what? Missile resistance, in my opinion, becomes more important for your wizardy types once they get a flying amount, once it's easier for enemy forces to pick them out. So yeah, we should definitely do that. Alright, next turn we'll be able to start upgrading the wall around this settlement. I'm pretty torn about which direction to move in here, actually. So do we want to grab, like, Cascading Fire Cloak or Flaming Sword? Flaming Sword, imbuing magical damage and fire damage on all of our bows and also boosting their damage by so much, and also triggering Kindle Flame at the same time, does seem pretty good. Yeah, we're definitely going to lean into that. So, sending an army around here would help us lock up a province. It would allow us to provide some more material support to the High Elves. Did they have Great Turtle Isle? I think they did. Yeah, they must be having a really rough go of it. So it would allow us to provide some support to them, but it would also mean that this area doesn't have two armies for a really long time. Like, that's a ton of walking. So I'm a little uncertain if that's what I want to do. Maybe we should push this way because of the fact that this is the way that our hero upgrades are. Here's the thing I'm not 100% clear on. It mentions that they have final battle effects. I'm not certain if the final battle effect is always active if you at least recruited the guy. Because if it is, then, I mean, everybody's always going to get all four of them. Or if you have to finish their upgrade tree before you can do that. And also, we are being told that there are some powerful rewards available on some of these.
Marcus Wolfhart.
Oh, you know what? You know who could use a powerful sword? Duh.
Protector.
How about my melee lord? He has a pretty good sword, but it's not as good as this sword. It doesn't give him melee attack. That's a concern. But he has his melee attack buff prayer, which does work on him. And we'll figure it out. He'll be okay. I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable about that northern front once Andreas gets up there. And then, hey, maybe we'll actually get to see him in battle.
Huntsman General. Marcus Wolfhart.
So I guess if it was ever going to be safe to make this move, it's now, right? We've done an awful lot of damage to the Skaven in this area. They're unlikely to show up so quickly that we can't at least backtrack the move we just made. I think we push for here. Hard and fast. If we end up losing... Move, dude. If we end up losing this settlement, it will be a shame, but it won't be, like, critical. And I would really, really love to figure out what is up with the rest of our hero quest lines. Alright, we're going to be a little bit careful because this thing is in a reef, so we're going to take damage sailing through the reef, so we want to get, like, as close as possible without going into the area of the thing and also not ending our turn in the reef. A couple of turns left. Oh, that's right. We need to start building up a wall over here as well. And probably what we'll do is we'll hit this and then we'll get on land and we'll try to run him over to Sulfurettes real quick and see if we can't pick up Gotrek and Felix, who hopefully are real good at fighting Dark Elves. I don't know anything about them, but that is definitely the job they are going to be called to do in a second here. If we upgrade Pahuax, we will be able to build another industry building, and actually, that's true in the Monument of the Moon as well. But that's right. I was trying to build up proper walls in places because we have to worry about reprisals and losing land and stuff. Alright, let's see if Planchala becomes threatened again, if we have to turn around, or if we're actually going to be able to push over here and reclaim some stuff. This is not exactly how I envisioned the campaign going when we were starting out. But honestly, I'm pretty pleased with the fact that, first of all, we managed to find a way out of that first very difficult position, and secondly, that I did not have to spend the majority of this campaign fighting people in Lustria. The Fantasy Central America part of the map is way less unpleasant than the Fantasy South America part of the map. They are just non-stop, huh? Well, we can probably divide the armies. That probably will work out fine. It kind of depends on what's in that army. Because if it's another full stack of, like, gold tier... What do you guys want? A military alliance? Absolutely not. What are you thinking? Do we... Okay, we do have a trade agreement. If it's another stack full that's, like, half Skaven slaves and then, like, one artillery unit, Valmir will go back by himself and handle it. Let's have a look. It is hard to tell, but we do see 2 units of Skaven slave spears. Also, an electric count sent us 1,000 gold and a bad shield. I mean, it's not a bad shield, but it's certainly a lot less good than a lot of the items we have for our armor slot. Okay. So when he gets over here, I believe he should reveal this army. Yeah, he can hold out against that on his own. I'm not worried. Okay, and now we can upgrade this. And I suppose just make a weaving house? And over here, we are 2 turns and 3 turns away from being able to make any further upgrades there. Alright, let's hope that they haven't moved a whole army in here to defend it. It's hard to imagine, right? Because they've had so many armies running at us in other places. Oh hey, good news. Red Skulls. Elite Imperial supplies are ready. What do I think we might need? Well, if we take the War Machine reinforcements, we can get a steam tank for the 3rd Army. I do love a steam tank. I'm less high on this other stuff, though, now that we have a wider array of artillery pieces. And mortars are still fine. But I think I like this better than anything else. Yeah, we'll take the Imperial Engineers. Right, hostility has risen. The children of the old ones are upon us once more, which is perhaps very dangerous. Some great swords and handgunners. Okay, and a messenger. That's actually a really good follower. That's an important one. Let's go and... I think we can equip him now. Should be able to. So what would I drop for him? Probably... Oh man. Not all followers can be equipped on all people. Okay, but we can use him. I think we have to. I think we'd be fools not to. But I'm not really sure what he replaces. I guess 1 point of public order is worse than army mobility, but do need that public order.
I serve Sigma. Forward in his...
Okay, what have we? Your army will perform better. Let's say perform better in campaign for right now. Yep, that's what I was hoping for. Some kind of movement speed buff, because we have a distance that we need to travel. Alright, so let's get out of the water.
Anything for Sigma. Moving out.
Apparently he will do anything for Sigmar, even follow very simple orders. Wow, what devotion. Okay, so we have a lot of running to do next turn. Actually, you know what? Looking at the clock here, maybe this is actually a good place to stop. We may very well... Oh no, that's right. For some reason I was thinking that we were at the beginning of a turn, not at the end of a turn.
Fearless.
Yeah, we'll stop at the beginning of next turn. So let's start with... We already have a growth building here. I mean, the growth is happening pretty quickly. I think we can afford to just try to reinforce the garrison. And what a beautiful thing, we have gotten ourselves a whole province. See, that time we only got 3. I wonder... I wonder if there's some rounding going on, maybe? Like, a captured settlement is not worth an entire 4 points. Or maybe it's based on which settlement it is, or maybe it's based on what level the settlement is. Maybe we're getting more acclaim by upgrading our stuff. I have no idea.
Bring the corpses.
Okay, Andreas is just going to probably head up to the area around Sildrator and meet them as they're coming back, I think. I don't think we want to upgrade anything else. Alright, these guys spawned on the other side of the river. They did not come in as a full stack. Hopefully that's really good for us. Let's run one more cycle of enemy turns here, and then we'll stop at the beginning of this next turn. I'm really happy about how things went today. We got a lot of good kills. And while the Skaven army is still showing as being tremendously numerous, I think we may have killed a lot of their advanced units, because a lot of the reinforcement armies we're seeing now are like half okay units and half extremely basic garbage. And like, there's nothing wrong with running a force that has a lot of clan rats in it or something. It has to be a support army behind a better army, and you have to actually keep them together. The fact that we were able to keep separating them and killing the support army for free is the reason that this whole campaign is going so poorly. Oh, Kralk is trying to escape. You know what? We should fight this battle, but given the amount of red in the bar here, I think we'll fight it manually. Yeah, this is going to be a lot less scary for us than the last one was, which means that we'll fight this one tomorrow. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. We're going to win this. It's just a matter of winning it while taking as little damage as possible, because we do not have time anymore to just sit around and replenish. So come back next time, tomorrow, to see if I can keep casualties to a minimum. Our casualties, obviously. Some other casualties will be kept to a maximum. And we'll see you then.